Okay, guys, as I said, I've been busy. Did the city, but what gets a city without a wall? I mean, gotta have a wall. So this is kind of a continuation of the city in the wall set. With the wall set, I wanted to do something somewhat different, a little more grand, a little bit more to it than just your typical wall. So I decided to, instead of making it all one big piece in one set, it's all modular. This opens up a lot of options, being modular, in that you can build the wall how you're wanting and how you're needing to fit your table, as opposed to buying a set that only fits together one way. So each of the wall sections is designed to connect together. So I'm going to pull one of these wall sections apart, pull this one back to the back, and let you see. So on the end of each kit in it, there's this little tab. That slots into a corresponding slot on the other piece and allows you to link multiple ones together. So that way you get a nice sturdy wall that you can fit different pieces together and not worry about stuff falling over. There's a little bit of slack in them, so you can move them up and down slightly. Or you can, even if you wanted to take it to the next level, would be to remove the tabs altogether and add magnets. But that's a whole nother animal there, and that's not what this is about. So each of the wall sections, though, is designed. There's a slight slope on the front. So instead of these being, and you can kind of see it there, that there's a slight angle there. Let's see if I can get that on the camera. And I've got way too much light, so let me see if I can shift this light a little bit. See if that makes a difference. There we go. Not as washed out. Okay. So there's a slight angle on each of these, so it tilts back from the front. On the back, they're square. I added in a balcony on all of them, so there is a space for you to place models. This is actually kind of an oversized model. This is one of my old chainmail ones, but he's on a 40 mil base and he fits up there fine. With a normal model, with him being a large model, obviously you're going to see a lot of him over the top of it. A normal model, it comes up to just about mid-chest on the height. So when the model is based and everything else, you can still see over the wall, but it's not super tall. The thing I did that to give you a few more options with it and to make sure that it was still playable across a wide range of scales. So if you're using true 25 millimeter with this, they'll work with it. You'll see just the tops of their heads. If you're using some of the newer heroic, see what the heroic 28 like GW uses, or the newer 35s, they'll also work with it. So you've got a wide range on the different models. Even so, I mean, with this guy being one of the large models, I mean, at the Etten, he's going to be a 40 mil based, fairly tall model. The wall is still high enough that it's not over the top of it. So, did the basic wall, which was fine, but then I had people ask, well, we want damaged stuff. We want a wall we want stuff that's broken. We want ruins. Well, as you all know, I don't really do ruins. Mainly because they're kind of boring. And if you really wanted to do a ruin, you take a finished model, you chop it up, you've got a ruin. But for this one, because of the angles and the way things fit together, I wanted to give you some option for it. So I did a section of the wall that has a removable part. So this way you could do a wall with a break in it and still have it. Now, in order for the pieces to fit together, I unfortunately had to do a smooth edge. I had tried doing an interlocking edge that lined up really, really tight. And what I found out with it was very difficult for people to remove. And I didn't really want that at the table level. I figure if you're really looking for that level of detail, then you're going to do what I recommend, which would be getting the full normal wall and actually tracing the line and cutting it out and building a set piece. For a modular piece like this, where you're going to be moving around a lot, it just didn't fit very well doing it that way. But in the case of them, they still have that same design, still have the same balcony, so that they can be tied into different locations. Of course, you can't do a wall without having the corners and how to deal with the corners. So what I did for those, I'm going to move that out of the way and move this, is I did these corner buildings, which is your standard corner tower. These are a removable top building, so it does come with the peak top that's removable, and you have a full floor inside. so that you can't place models on the inside of it. These walls are slightly under the 3-inch rule that I normally use for a wall. These are about 2 3/4, so they're just a little bit shorter because I didn't want them to feel like they were full rooms like you have with a normal living space. I wanted these to be a little bit shorter, just to add a little more character to it. The kit comes with door locations, so there are 2 door locations, and there are actually 2 sets of them. So if you're doing rights or lefts, you can do doors on either, or if you wanted to, you could even put one door on one side, one on the other, and have it so you enter on one and exit at the top. So it's kind of, again, it's another neat design, and of course, it will link together. If I turn this one the right direction, it will link with the other pieces. You just have to click them together. The coolest piece of the set, though, I think, has got to be this. So I'm going to move this out of the way as well, so we can focus in on it. And move my monitor so I can actually see. There we go. It's this piece. This is the main gate. Now, for a main gate, I wanted something neat, something that had some scale to it, but I didn't want to make it so that it was distracting. So you'll notice the first thing I did is it's got a flat top to it. Nothing extra across the top. I figured if you want to customize it yourself and add to it and build to it, you can add stuff to the top. I wanted to keep it flat to give you those opportunities. The other thing with that, though, is it frees up a few things. So if we put a figure there, even with a tall fig, I mean, that's a pretty substantial gate. So what I did, first of all, is I added removable bars. And I don't have it here on the table, it's over on the other table, but there is actually a locking pin that you can put in that will hold the gate at the various heights. So if you wanted to open the gate only halfway, there's a locking piece that slides in that keeps it at that height. And that'll fit most standard size figs at that height. So it's kind of neat having that as an option. I'm going to go ahead and pull this all the way out because I wanted to show you the other part of it. Went with an engraved door. As opposed to doing the normal slab, flat wooden door, I wanted something different. So I actually went with a box weave pattern on the doors to give them a little bit extra. And of course, they open. So now, for your scenarios, you have quite a few options. So you could literally have a game scenario where your goal is to infiltrate the castle. So somebody's got to basically be able to break into the castle. They have to be able to open the gate or open the bars, and you can do that as one objective. Your second objective would be actually opening the gate doors. So you can do all kinds of neat things with this that you wouldn't be able to see in most sets. So that's it for the basic wall. This wall set and all these pieces that are interchangeable, they all fit together, and they're designed to tie in to the rest of the city, but you could use them with anything. Just depends on your imagination. So that should give you enough detail on this one to get you started. There are other sets that I've done, and who knows, you may see those in the next video. Anyway, take care, guys.